Teacups, what's brewing? Lovely to see you. We had a little break there for a minute, didn't we? There were a lot of rumours flying around over what had happened. Some of them I kind of agree with, some of them I didn't, some of them I was right on, some of them I was wrong on. So I thought it was definitely plausible she'd been banned for a week, which turns out she was. Now, it was a little odd that she hadn't been active on her other platforms. I was expecting her to at least say something about it. But I also thought that she was using the ban to therefore travel. And therefore, I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to go live on a different platform and prove that she was in a hotel somewhere. Now, I didn't think she'd go to Canada. I thought she'd go somewhere more local. She was talking about her mum potentially paying for her trip in the summer, but it appears she's gone back earlier than we thought. Now, this was right on time for the tourist visa, so she was gonna have to go somewhere, but I'm a little surprised to see her in Canada at the moment. Now, Barbecue Chicken does have a cut down of both the lives she did, which is making my life easier and should go over the main points, so I'm just gonna react to that today. I did make notes on the first live to do a recap, but then was watching the second and it was quite dull, there wasn't a lot in it, so I don't feel it's necessary. Now, just to warn you, if you haven't seen Barbecue Chicken's cut down, it is sped up, probably 1.25 speed, I think. So if you're finding her a tiny bit difficult to understand, that's why. All right, I've got more things to say, but let's just get into this and maybe I can go through them while we talk.
Where is everyone? I guess people forgot about me. Okay, so I'm in this little driveway, and then there's a fence that says no trespassing. So does that mean no trespassing before the fence or after?
So she's in the Kia, which she's going to talk about in a little bit. Guys, I don't like her new glasses very much. I like that shape of glasses. I don't really like that shape on her. Generally, you shouldn't have a shape of glass that reflects your face shape. And in the filter, at least, this does. So I think there were probably more flattering frames. She does say that Salah got them her later. So I don't know how much choice she had over the shape. I'm not sure from what she's saying, but we'll see. But I am glad that she's got glasses because now she can see in the car. Which just goes to show she was half blind when she was in the car last time. Speaking of the car last time, I don't know if it's in the cut down, but she's going to talk about some of the work she had done on the car. And remember, last time she was in Canada, that work had not been done.
Hi, oh my gosh, it's too fast. Hi, everyone. I don't even know where to start. Like, I'm gone 7 days, or 8 days, or however many days. And my life has, like, changed so much that I don't even know where to start. I have so many stories I wanted to tell you guys. I'm just, like, literally so tired, and my body is so battered. From this trip, I am going nuts.
I think she says at some point that she traveled back the other day, so she wasn't in Canada for this entire week, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I have new glasses. So, I did the prescription, right? Like, I went to the eye doctor last time I was in Canada. But then, I left without getting glasses. They're super expensive here. So before I left...
Yeah, she left because she went to chase Salah.
So I was like, give me your prescription for your glasses. I'm going to go and get you glasses. So he went and got glasses for me before I headed out. And I'm glad he did. I just, the Kia's all set. Has new brakes, has like $2,000 worth of work on this baby.
I don't understand why, A, she didn't do this before. I'm guessing because it was an impulsive trip last time and she's probably had more time to plan for this trip. Or B, where the money's coming from, really. Now, if Foodie were more sensible, I would say they probably decided a while back that this was going to be the trip, or they realized it was going to be too difficult to get her another visa. And so this time they were going to arrange it so she stayed there, because that's what she was meant to do last time, But she got there, she clearly had not thought that through. And maybe, if I were optimistic, they've used this time to arrange more things. I'm not massively optimistic, but they would have had a chance to. And maybe even potentially put a bit more money aside now she's got a more realistic idea of the things she'll have to do. Speaking of glasses, I use a website called Glasses for You. They do international delivery. And I think the last time I paid for glasses, I paid about £40, something like that. So if you want cheap glasses and you have your prescription, go order them online. It's way cheaper than going to a shop.
Like I'm in a new car. I love this Kia. Let's never fight. Oh, I got a strike on my channel.
Doesn't surprise me.
At first I was like, what the F? I was like pissed off. I was like, what? But then I saw the post that I made, I deleted it, but it's about it was for the post that I made about that Kalani lady, so.
That was, I think we mentioned it in the last react, but guys, it's been a while. That was the lady that the smaller reactor, who has now gone up many times the amount of subscribers she had before. So she raged at a reactor that she wasn't happy with. She put a picture up and then she started insulting her looks. Very classic Chantal. And apparently she got struck for it. And then after she got struck, people were like, well, let's go and report all her videos. So if you go and look back in her channel, she deleted a load of videos when she was talking about reactors in general. Like the one where she was like the hateful girl world or whatever it was called. And she had my picture and some others on the thumbnail. That kind of stuff. Because if you've got one strike and then you get reported again within the 90-day period, it can have worse consequences for your channel. So of course people are going to try and report her now, and she says as much here, and then, I don't know, thinks it won't encourage people. As I say this, please don't go and report her. Unpopular opinion. I know that everyone wants her off the internet, and I know that she's done things that would rightfully justify her channel being cancelled. But in terms of, hey, I like the entertainment of making the videos, I kind of don't want her offline. I wanted to have some kind of justice, but I also want to watch the entertainment, so I'm kind of in the middle there. I think it would be interesting to see her demonetized though, because she wouldn't be able to resist wanting the attention, but she'd have to hustle to make money elsewhere, which would be funny because she's already poisoned the well on other channels. So I kind of want to be a fly on that wall, you know? But moving on from that. So she's in Canada apparently forever. Let's see.
At first I was mad, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter, like, because I was triggered, as usual. That's my problem, to be triggered. But anyway, I was triggered because I saw parts of a video on, Mama's live stream about her, and she was like, calling me heifer and that my husband wouldn't touch me. So I, said some nasty things back. So, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I got caught for it. I think it's weird that, that YouTube doesn't, keep the same energy for some other channels that swear and all that. But what I said was really nasty. So, you know what? I'm like, fine. What I did was wrong. I'll take the hit. I'll take the L. And you know what? I think it's a sign from God or from whatever, the universe, whatever you want to believe, that I needed that break. Like, this break has been amazing for me. And I know that.
I wonder if she would have said that if we were able to hear her voice the day after it happened. Because one thing you've got to remember in this, like, think about how unpleasant she gets, how rage-filled she gets. If she's at this point now where she can say, oh, I think it was good for me as a front to us, she has gone through that spectrum of emotions already because she's simply not mature enough to see that immediately. So just think for a moment how Salah has been dealing with this, because she would have had nothing to do but to stew at home through her birthday, through the stress of knowing she has to travel and do the trip alone, which kind of triggers all her insecurities, through Mr. Snowflake's documentary. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on this week that would have been prime rage content for her, and she couldn't do it because YouTube had banned her. And then the natural stress of the fact that she knows she needs 2 seats, she probably couldn't afford 2 seats, and so she's traveling without 2 seats and expecting that the airline will accommodate her because they were kind enough to do that one time before. But I'm guessing it has not been pleasant in the House of Kuwait since last we saw her. And I can't imagine Salah was anything but relieved to see the back of her, quite frankly.
It's going to annoy you, and it's going to make people mad, but it was so amazing. So anyways, basically, the break was awesome, So, yeah, I was like, yeah, I was nasty. Like, doesn't matter if I'm being nasty back, whatever. Like, my point is, like, I need to just ignore these people and really just focus on beesing, and I missed you guys so much. Like, you guys are my support system. I realize that.
Oof. Even if it's someone who is supportive of her in the sense of they encourage her, nobody in her chat has good intentions for her. The internet as a whole is a terrible support system in this particular corner. Like, don't use us as support. I do wonder how long she's been planning this trip though. Like, the smart thing to do, and I realize I'm saying the smart thing to do and foodie in the same sentence, but the smart thing to do would have been go back to Canada on the impulse as she did. That's not the smart thing, obviously. I guess register at doctors while she was there, even though it was going to be a long waiting list, and then try and get appointments for this second visit, because it wasn't that long ago she was there. And I don't understand exactly how she's planning to get all these things done, because they were such barriers to her showing up at Christmas. But at Christmas she hadn't planned it, and now I think she probably had this in mind for a while. Because remember a little bit ago when she was like, oh, I've got a therapy appointment on the 18th? So I'm guessing that wasn't in Kuwait. I'm guessing that was in Canada. It might not have been the 18th. I might have got the dates mixed up. But the point I'm making, you know? But she talks a lot about like getting her own place here. And is Pete's involved in that? Is Pete's not? She has to get her own place and she doesn't seem to be talking about moving in with Pete. But her credit is still trash. So if she doesn't have Pete's for the lease, is she getting a guarantee from like her parents or something? I don't know, but all the obstacles she was facing before, she seems to be facing now. And if she's just dropped 2 or 3 grand on the Kia, then that is a fair chunk of money when you're also going to have moving costs and like first and last rent and stuff like that.
I have to just try to make it in a healthy way. Like, so yeah, I have to be positive because you know what? YouTube is a popularity contest. A lot of people don't like me. So any little way they can, obviously they're going to report me, right? Especially if I do something that goes against terms of service, and if I get caught, that's like, is it worth risking my entire channel for going after every little, like, people who are saying like that I'm a pig, you know? Like, no, I needed to check my behavior. It's like,
if anyone's new here and they think maybe Foodie is finally learning something, she has these realizations periodically. It will not change her behavior in the future. Just in case you're brand new.
Like, ruining my mental health, everything. So basically this break was amazing, and I made a very big decision to move back to Canada. I normally fly with Qatar Airways or Emirates.
She slipped that in and then came back to it later. But let's hear her entitled story about the airline.
I know I only fly with Qatar. No, but there's a reason. All right, this time I decided, you know what? Hey, if I go with Qatar or Emirates, I'm on the plane for 13 hours straight because the transfer is only an hour of flight in Qatar. Going to Qatar, then 13 hours, Canada, Montreal. But if I try a different route, where Lufthansa, which is a German airline, I went from Kuwait to Frankfurt on Lufthansa. Then I had an almost 3-hour layover in Frankfurt, and then I had to, hi guys, not Air Canada. But they were.
I've heard terrible things about Air Canada. I'm sorry if they're wrong, but I've heard terrible things about Air Canada. I used to take Lufthansa through Frankfurt because it was a good connector for the airport I was going back to when I flew back from like Japan particularly, but Japan and China. I used to take Lufthansa to Frankfurt. It's not a big airport, but she would have had to move around because you had to get on the people carrier when you arrived. I'm of two minds about this. I think she chose to have the layover because she is used to being very uncomfortable in flights, but she probably was afraid she'd need the bathroom break. And obviously with the pain she's been having, whatever's causing it, because we don't really know. She keeps saying sciatica, but she hasn't actually had that checked. Like, she had the injections, which seemed to be treatment for like diabetic neuropathy, but she hasn't had it followed up on. She's just been taking pain medication, which has been messing with her stomach. So I think she was more concerned that she wasn't going to make it without needing to use the bathroom, and she was worried about fitting in the bathroom. So she wanted to have a layover in the middle. I understand that from her perspective. That's fine. It's uncomfortable and probably not pleasant to go through, but the logic is there. I want to be able to have a longer break than an hour where I have to run through. But if she had done the Qatar switch, one, she could have gone on an airline she had been in before, so she'd know what she was dealing with. And two, they would have treated her differently. Because the thing is, you turn up to Europe, you're going to be treated like any other passenger. Whether right, wrong, or indifferent, she will get more special treatment in the Middle East flying as a passenger than she would do in the middle of Europe. She just would. It's just a different attitude here. And sometimes, as a Westerner on a flight, you get special treatment, depending on where you're flying from, if Westerners are more or less common. So if you stay polite and you give a smile, they'll probably treat you really nicely. Now, is that a little bit racist? Yes. Does it benefit you sometimes? Yes. If she needed a little extra help, she was much more likely to get it in a Middle Eastern airport than she was anywhere else. In which case, I think she probably should have just chanced Qatar and booked in the trolley visit to her gate, and then could have gone to the bathroom while she was waiting. But her body is her body. It does sometimes betray her, and or she's betrayed it too many times, and I understand that she might be concerned about that, because at the end of the day, whether she wants to or not, she has to deal with it, and maybe she just wasn't confident in her ability to deal with it. And from the sounds of the horrible story she's about to tell, she was right to doubt it.
both Airbus A330s, which, you know, I thought, okay, I'm gonna break it in half.
At least if it's an Airbus, it won't fall out the sky, eh?
It's not as bad. But like I found the staff was not that friendly. They were more snappy. The food was okay. Here's the food. Okay, they give you a sandwich and it's their vegetarian sandwich. And so I'm like, okay, like literally that's how the attendant talked. A vegetarian sandwich. It's like
Accent shaming?
took it, and it had cream cheese. Okay, the cream cheese, I don't know, messed with my gut. So that's digesting. By the time I get to the second leg of my, the Air Canada, I'm like, please don't let anyone sit beside me. Please don't let anyone sit beside me. I was literally praying, like, please don't let anyone sit beside me. Allah, please.
Okay, you know a better way than hoping for divine intervention? It's booking a second seat. A second seat that you have admitted you need. Because that is also a possibility. If she was looking at this and she was like, oh, if I have this layover here, the flight's a little bit cheaper, because it's Ramadan and Eid. It's not going to be cheap to fly on flights right now. And if I'm remembering correctly, it's all coinciding with Easter, which is also a really popular travel time, at least in the UK, where we get a big school holiday for Easter. Easter is like a 2-week holiday, not a long weekend. So the prices wouldn't have been small.
Well, this guy comes bouncing down the walkway, sits right beside me, and he's listening to super loud music, like dance hall music. I don't know if you know what dance hall is. I'm so sure someone is. Anyway, he sits down, and okay, whatever, I slept most of the flight. He ordered wine. You get like complimentary little bottles of wine on Air Canada. He ordered wine, and he spilled red wine on my clothes twice.
That's not okay, but also, she doesn't fit in her own seat, right? So when he spilled wine on her, he probably spilled it on the part of her that was spilling over into his space. Now, don't get me wrong. I have been sat next to a gentleman before who annoyed me a little bit. He was an American guy. He didn't like the food choices. It was tofu or fish. I can't remember where I was traveling, actually, but it was tofu or fish. And he wanted steak. He didn't want anything lighter than that. And he ordered some vodka, and I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and he'd spilled it all over my seat and like over my blanket, so I could wipe up the seat. But I went and asked the attendant if I could have another blanket because mine was wet and stank of vodka, and she looked at me like, no. I was like, oh, great, wonderful service, thank you. So I get that it's annoying, but you cannot tell me she was not infringing on a space, and maybe if she hadn't been, there would have been more chance for her to avoid that.
So I smelled like a bottle of booze. I have to let out some chin, sorry. Okay, so that's when the sandwich starts hurting my stomach. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gurgling. For some reason, the cream cheese or something in that sandwich gave me the ultimate gas. It was...
Either she is like that all the time, or there was something like atomic in this sandwich. Because how often does she eat cheese? She eats cheese at every meal. How would this cream cheese hurt her stomach? I want to know what she ate in the airport. That would be more important to me. I'm guessing she would have had fast food on the way. Especially if she had 3 hours. She was going to have to sit down somewhere, use a bathroom, probably have something to eat.
Probably the worst gas attack I ever had in my life. And we're like, the captain was like, okay, we have 20 minutes left on landing. Because you know, landing is a whole process. They gotta go down, 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 down. And I'm like, okay, I can hold it. Because I'm not about to go. Because you know when you're landing, they say, okay, the bathrooms are going to be locked. So I couldn't go. I had to go. Like, I had to go.
The poor people around her. Foodie's having a gas attack brought on by too much cheese. She's got possibility of messing herself up, and you're just sitting there looking at this woman next to you, dealing with just the effect of her, and hoping you get down to the ground. Oh, how unpleasant.
I had to go, you know what I mean? And I don't go bladder. So I'm like, well, wait for landing. So we land, and then you know how you have to wait to deplane? Okay? It takes forever to deplane. Everyone's just standing there, like, waiting for them to open the door. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get to go. I'm like clenching hard. I need to go. Then we're all standing up. I grab my luggage from the overhead bin, and the guy's like, okay, everyone sit back down because immigration is coming on board. And I was like, what? No, they're gonna like investigate people. Why do you have to hold up the whole plane to investigate one person trying to get into Canada? You know? And like, I'm like, oh no, I can't make it.
I'm gonna admit, I do love the idea of, bitches, you're not even getting off this plane. Let us check you first. Imagine if they implemented that in Kuwait. But there is a small part of me under the laughing that is like, oh, how unpleasant. Like, for whatever reason, whether she brought it on herself or not, you desperately need the bathroom and you're just being made to sit there. Like, that is horrible.
Sick from the sandwich, and like, I couldn't hold it. I was like, I couldn't hold, like, I'm like, I can't. Anyway, somehow miraculously I did. They checked their passports, like, they checked everyone's passports. I'm moving here. I can't stand the summer in Kuwait.
It's not fully summer yet. It's getting warmer, but it's not fully summer yet. And her mum offered to pay for her to come back in the summer, didn't she? If she hadn't been on a tourist visa, we're at the beginning of April, May, June. Of course, she's not on a tourist visa because she said she's not, even though she miraculously manages to travel every 3 months. I think the truth of it is some combination of the rumours. I think she's had previous trouble getting back into Kuwait before. I think that's what we were probably seeing in Thailand. And I think whatever deal her and Salah had, I think it's over. And hopefully there's some stuff in the clips about this, but it feels like it is. Like their business has been concluded, and I can't imagine how she was behind the scenes has made him regret it at all.
It's bad for my health. I need free healthcare because even no matter what my visa status would be there, I don't want to talk about that, but
it's the only private thing on her channel. She'll talk about the gas and potential diarrhea she had on the plane, but doesn't want to talk about the visa status that somehow follows the exact timeline of a tourist visa and would prevent her from getting cheap healthcare in Kuwait. Whoops. And also, you entitled little so-and-so, it's not free healthcare. It's paid for with the taxes that you have yet to pay.
it would be expensive. So just make whatever you want of that if you want.
Oh, I will. It would be expensive because Kuwait purposely put the prices up by a large amount a few years ago to discourage particularly medical tourism. Now, there are some countries that embrace medical tourism. You do it privately, but they give you the price before, and it's a lot cheaper. You can go to Turkey and get your teeth done. I went and got my surgery done in Prague because it was way cheaper than doing it in the UK, and I could do it to my own schedule, which was more important to me because I was concerned about doing it like between jobs, because when you do it with a program in the UK, you're on their timeline. So I get the reasons for going abroad, but Kuwait does not want to be that location, and they're taking steps to prevent it, which is why Foodie is back here. And I've got no problem with her accessing her country's medical care if she is paying into that system. But she is not. She wants the care, she wants it now, she wants it free, and she doesn't want to pay into the system supporting it.
I'm saying that I have this visa, that visa doesn't matter, it's okay, fine, whatever. But it is expensive. Just say that, okay? So, I'm not divorced. I'm still with Salah. I'm taking things day by day and leaving, honestly, this, I know you're gonna think it's crazy.
I'm taking things day by day. I'm still with Salah. Those two things feel like they might not coincide well. I think maybe they had a fight, or he has completely cut it off and been like, nah, time for you to go. Like I said, I think this last week won't have made it better, because she would have been raging, she would have been trapped in that apartment. Like, when did she make the decision to go is a big one. I think she's had it in mind, but I thought she was planning to go in the summer, so has she made it earlier because of the last week? I don't know, but every way she speaks about her and Salah makes it seem like they are over. And I will believe that until I get proof otherwise, and I do not consider him hopping into the second live stream as proof otherwise.
But I'm leaving it up to God. Like, I'm just gonna control
leaving
what I can
it
control
up
in
to
my life.
God. I'm gonna control what I can control. He has left her, man. He's been like, nah, goodbye.
Because, like, honestly, when I'm dead, the anxiety, what I'm worried about won't matter. You know, I'll be like...
When I'm dead, it won't
Honestly,
matter. Is that your thought process? Are you just thinking that's going to be sooner rather than later? Rightly so, given your condition at the moment, but be a bit more hopeful, make some changes, and it doesn't have to be.
No, I have to worry about myself.
Yes.
I am definitely getting an apartment. Like, I need to get my own setup here. So I need to set up everything, which means I have to, like, get everything from scratch. Like, I'm not rich. Like, we are okay. Like, we do fine. Like,
we are okay. We do fine. Fine enough to put a few grand into a car and pay first and last and worry about the stuff in it. Like, worry about getting the place and then worry about getting the things in it.
we were able to, like, you know, everything, fix the car, get me here, which was, like, crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was cheap. I didn't look up flight prices before I turned this on, but I can't imagine it was cheap. So you got to think, okay, I think she said $3,000 at one point. I know she said 2 for the brakes, but 3 overall. And if you think 1,500-ish for a ticket, Like, she's already $4,500 down.
It was a cheaper though on those 2 flights, but I'm never gonna compromise this. I can't. It's too. Air Canada is really good though. Air Canada. The only thing is they don't have
That
personal
shocks
expense.
me.
I was almost dying.
I've never heard that about Air Canada.
I'm also getting Sam back. Like,
Oh.
I'm getting Sam back when I get my place.
Oh no. Leave Sam alone.
The foster lady. She's like, after all, she had a cat before Sam, an older cat, and he doesn't really like Sam. I thought they were getting along, but no. Are you worried about celebrities? Thank you. Just.
I want to know. Oh, they were asking about Salah's cheating shenanigans. Trigger. I want to know who was looking after Sam, because if she really cared, because before it was like, no, she loves her, can she please keep her? So it seems odd that would suddenly change.
It's like, you know what? No, I'm not worried about. I'm not gonna worry about that. Like, I have my trust in every new trust. I said I would do it. Like, trust. Like, and you know, like, I'm just gonna live life. Like, whatever happens, happens. You know, I'm not gonna stress about that. I'm not gonna. There's nothing I can do. I'm not a fly on the wall over there. I can't live my life distrusting somebody.
She can absolutely live her life distrusting somebody, and every scrap of evidence we have seen in any other relationship, including the stories she's told us of previous relationships we haven't seen, indicate that she would go absolutely nuts if she thought something was going on, which means the only way she's able to go, no, I'm not going to worry about that, is if this relationship is over, and they've already gotten to that point where that is the arrangement. Because no way is she going to take, oh yeah, he's with me, but I've just left him alone in Kuwait, having proved that he cannot be trusted there.
You know, like, I can't waste that energy. If I ever learn something that's different, I'll deal with it, but I'm not gonna, no, I'm gonna focus on myself. Yeah, there's a lot of things I miss, like, that I didn't think I would ever miss when I first moved to Kuwait. And when I got here, I was, like, very patriotic. I was like, Canada! But a lot of people on the plane were looking out and they were like, you could tell they missed Canada. Like, you get homesick, but now I miss Kuwait a lot too. Because when you ingrain yourself in a culture for a year and a half or however long I was there.
The only thing she has ingrained herself into are the sheets in her bedroom. Ingrained herself into the culture. You could count on 2 hands how many times she was outside. She's as ingrained into Muslim culture sitting in her car right now as she ever was in Kuwait.
It's like, you know, and like, I miss Julia and Harry so bad. Like, that's like, no matter which country I'm in, I have heartbreak because I miss my cats here. And then I miss Julia, like, her little face and her fishy breath.
Notice how the cat comes first, not Salah.
But Salah is a good cat dad. I don't want to leave him. Like, he genuinely looks sad at the thought of leaving Julia. No, I'm not here to renew my visa. No.
That's because she's staying here. She doesn't need to.
No, Ramadan's not over. I didn't have to fast while I was traveling. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been doing that right.
Yeah, she hasn't been doing Ramadan, guys. Shocking to no one. Now, technically, and I'm sure, because she did later, this would be her reasoning, as somebody who has medical concerns, and whether she did it to herself or not, diabetes is definitely something you have to not mess around with. So proof she's taking it seriously as she shoves her St. Hubert's in her face later. But she is not required to fast with that medical condition because it could be dangerous to her. So she's not technically going against anything there, but it's more than that. Like, she doesn't care really about things being halal here. You cannot tell me she's not smoking weed here, because the way she talks about it tells me she already has. So we're just going to see an erosion of even the veneer of being Muslim that she had on so far as we go. The only thing she's going to keep is the hijab because it saves her having to sort out a wig or something to do with her hair.
I'm religious, I don't care. Here's the thing. There's religion and there's culture, okay? I'm Canadian, like, blood-wise, and we believe in the medicinal power of marijuana, so...
Blood-wise. And Canada believes in the medicinal power of marijuana. Foodie, dedicated to her beliefs, beauty. This is the woman who took the Shahada, transplanted herself into a Middle Eastern country, complained that other Muslims were being too judgmental online to her, and then complained that reactors weren't Muslim and therefore what the hell do we know? But no, Canada believes in medical marijuana and therefore I am going to smoke it recreationally so I don't have to deal with anything else.
That's something I'm going to consider because, you know, I know it would be frowned upon.
Because it's in her blood.
By most Muslim people, but for me it's like, I don't know, it's like medicine for me.
She said this before. If a doctor prescribes it to you, it's medicine for you. If they don't, get the hell out of here.
I feel like having like a night when I get home, like whenever, you know, you do your whole day, be productive, and then later at night for a treat, like to relax, it's like medicine. Look, it helps with like, you know, the CBD and that can help with pain. I can't take too many more NSAIDs. Like
Okay, go to the doctor. Oh, you can't take any more NSAIDs? Maybe they're not the right treatment for what's going on with you. Go get checked. Maybe they can fix whatever the problem is. Maybe, as she says, continuing to take painkillers is a terrible idea that will screw up the lining of your stomach. Go and see what's causing that pain, because it was not guaranteed that it was sciatica. Go and find out what it actually is. Get the actual treatment for it. If you can get into a therapy appointment this quick, you can get into a doctor's appointment this quick. You might have to pay for it privately while you get on the waiting list for your other coverage, but get this sorted first. Stop self-diagnosing yourself. Stop assuming weed is the answer all the time, because she's not going to be productive all day and then smoke weed. She's just going to start smoking it the moment she wakes up.
Stomach is going to have a hole like this big inside it. But I'm still Muslim. I still believe in God. And like, how can I just automatically, you know what? You can't stop believing. People switch all the time. People go through struggle. You know, I think
calling it now. If she can find a comfortable alternative to the hijab, she will put this Muslim conversion right into the past. Because people change their minds all the time, you guys. I was impulsive. Well, I can believe in God in my heart. I don't have to show it outside. It's no one's business.
Religion is something very personal, you know? You guys, I know you guys are all happy because, like, this is the land of the bees. Imagine I'm getting King Beezer back, and I'll never leave him again.
Poor Sam. So she's not currently intending to go back at all. We'll see, because could you imagine the outcry? One, her getting him back anyway is just like, oh God. She hasn't learned to be better in her house. She's not going to have any better conditions for him. She doesn't even have a place at the moment. But I'm never letting him go again. So if she goes back to Kuwait, she's going to have to figure that out. I know right now she doesn't have plans, but she didn't have plans when Kybella messaged, and then suddenly all the plans changed.
I can go back to Kuwait, yeah. Kuwait, look, I love Kuwait, and I do miss Salah, like, a lot. It's so hard being in a long-distance marriage, and for who knows how long. But this is like a sacrifice I have to make, and it'll be a true test of our relationship, too, because...
He has already failed that test! It'll be a true test, not like the 2 weeks when he was already inviting women back to the apartment. That wasn't a true test. I'm sure if we just let him go for longer, his behavior will be better.
You know, like, that long of distance? No. We'll see. You know, and I'm here to, like, also, I have to work on myself, but I need a plan.
So you showed up to Canada without a plan. Nice.
On the 18th, I have, like,
what's the
therapy
18th?
Session. But...
All right, so... You made that before you got back, that's fine. Like I said, anything that would get her into therapy would be a positive thing, but she has to stick with it for it to make any difference, so that probably won't happen. But if you could suddenly get an appointment, what was the problem before? You just didn't want to. You knew going back before that you weren't intending to stay. You weren't intending for Salah to have an affair, but you weren't intending to stay long term no matter what you said. You gave up on that idea really quickly, and so that was just impulsive. But now, whatever's happened behind the scenes, she's like, oh, I gotta sort this out now.
I'm, like, starting immediately because I have help from my family to, like, you know, help me get in places and stuff.
Okay, so where was that help last time? I have help in my family. I have loopholes. She always has loopholes. But is it because her mum's a nurse? Her mum's a nurse, right? So in which case, why couldn't her mum help her before? Like, I'm glad that help exists. I'm glad she can go and do it. But at the same time, like, it's either or here. How could she help one minute and not help the other?
I guess, of course, I miss him, and I don't want to shit talk him. Like, that's the only thing I ask. Just not talk about him. You can have your opinions, but just keep them to yourself. Like, you know, just, he is my husband, and, you know, it's important for me, like, a little bit of respect for that.
Look, I'm sorry, darling. Husband or not, and I'm inclined to say not, I am not about to respect any man that tried to step out on his so-called wife, wanted to teabag Jesus, and wants to piss and do other things on women while treating them like garbage. That is not something I respect, no matter what role he's playing here. And you being so-called married to him doesn't make me more inclined to do so. Just makes me question both of you more.
We're gonna be, yeah, someday we can visit, but, like, for now, I have to focus on me and, you know, beezing.
Beezing, she's gonna be high so quickly. Her mum probably won't let her do it in the house, but she'll do it in the car, just like apparently she did before. How long is it going to take her to find a place? Is she going to be able to afford a place by herself? Because, like, if you remember last time, she was like, okay, maybe Pete's, and if we split it, that's $700 each. So she'd obviously found somewhere that might do the job. but she was really worried about the money. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. She may just give up and go back again, but...
He's gonna take care of the pets, don't worry about them. He's taking really good care of them. And I like talk to him every day, on video to see, okay, this is the pet situation, Because what do I miss about him? Everything, like just having that person there with you. Like I feel lonely and blue.
The camera does not believe her.
Whoa. Hold on. I feel lonely and blue. Do I have Cash App? I have PayPal. My PayPal for what? You guys are gonna what was I gonna say? I don't know.
She was gonna say, send me money on PayPal and Cash App. I'm guessing, so when it comes to super thanks, super chats, supers in general, YouTube takes 30% of those. When it comes to AdSense, YouTube takes, is it 45 or 55%? I can't remember exactly. So the cut is better for the creator when it's a super thanks or a super comment or a super whatever. But Foodie has just missed a week of potential content. Now, she said she filmed a little bit of it, but she's never really been good at timing her content either. So she's not going to get as much response to it as if she had been uploading it as it was happening. Because especially with her birthday and with the snowflake stuff, like it would have generated a lot of interest that she was suddenly going back to Canada, and it still will. Like I saw a lot of people reacting to this when I went to bed last night. I logged on just as she was talking in the first one, but when I got through that one, it was 2:30 in the morning here, and I was like, I need to sleep, and then I went for groceries this morning. But there's been a lot of action because people have been a bit bored. So she is going to feel that hole in her paycheck when she gets paid on the 21st to 26th, because it would have been out of the end of last month. I suppose the beginning of this month as well. So she's hoping that people will fill the gap with money that she can access immediately to help with that, especially as she's going to have so many expenses now.
We can dispensary these whenever I get my own place. And then the first plane, the guy I had to sit with was a very tiny man. Like he was not, I'm not making fun of people of size, like small, I don't know what you would say. Shorter people. I'm not making fun of them.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not, because I imagine he'd have some things to say about you.
This guy, he wasn't like short, but he was really small, and he had a full beard. I don't know, like. Anyway, huh? He was like, "Can I sit here?" And I was like, and I got mad. I was like, "Yes, you may. I'm just gonna go check if there's any other seats available."
She got mad. The flight was full. She's taking a seat and a half because she can't fit in one seat, and the guy who's paid for the seat she is half filling is asking politely to sit down, and she's saying, "Yes, you may," and getting mad about it. Hello, entitlement. How are you?
And there were none, so I had to sit beside him, but he was fine. The good thing about sitting beside someone very small when you're fat is they have more room that you can encroach on.
Good to know you're aware of that. Don't buy two seats, hey? That's totally fair. You're lucky he was okay with it, because he was completely within his rights to be like, hey, I cannot sit by her. And then if it came down to making a choice, they would get her off the plane before they get him off, because she's the one taking up more space than they have.
No, wife leaves her husband if you love him. Yeah, but I also love myself, so I'm here to
So you can't love yourself and be with your husband? Doesn't sound like a great relationship.
work on myself. Anyways, that's our business, right? I can't pin my PayPal. Oh, you guys are sweet. You don't have to. But if you want to, my PayPal is. I don't know how to pin. I'm on my phone. It's C. Okay, get ready to write it down if you want to.
She spells this out a few times. She would really like you to PayPal her.
The Quite is the saddest. Like, why was it depressing for you guys? Just because you guys are used to me having such an outgoing personality, so being completely muted, or what?
When were you completely muted? When did that happen in Kuwait? Darling, you raged just as much in Kuwait. You didn't have Nada triggering you as much. You did occasionally, but not as much. But you made other things. I don't want to see her back in a relationship with Nada, but you can't say there wasn't something to watch there.
That's what it was, right? I want to break free! I don't have any plans to go back to Kuwait. I don't have a return ticket. I'm getting a place here. Yeah, you can decide what being Muslim means to you. It's personal, exactly. There's no compulsion in Islam. Like they say, you're not, like certain things anyways. It doesn't even say in the Quran you have to wear hijab on your head. It's interpreted that way by scholars, but mostly what it is verbatim, it's like to cover, make like loose clothing so you can't see the form of your body. Like, don't dress like what we would call skank dress,
What we would call... Who is the we in this situation? Like, is that the phrase Islamic scholars use? No skank dress? Yeah, guys, everything's up for interpretation. Even though I officially joined this religion, I swore myself into it, I checked the box, I don't actually want to follow any of those rules. So I'm just going to have a general belief. It's not official, but didn't you swear your shahada? Yeah, but it's not official. I'm not there now. It doesn't exist.
Which I used to do. Yeah, but I don't miss that. I like to be covered up, honestly, I do. I'm 40. I want to kind of start dressing my age. Not that if you want to dress, like that when you're 60, that's no problem.
Well, what do you consider dressing your age at 40? I'm confused. As a 40-year-old, I miss the dress code. Help me.
But for me, I think I like, like this stuff. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, not showing your boobs on the internet is a good start. Don't get me wrong. Oh, the sneezing. Yeah, we're back. Funny how she only starts hard blowing her nose when she gets back to Canada. I'm not suggesting anything is up. I'm just saying it's a coincidence.
Yeah, I'm staying in Canada for good. Yeah, Chantal, yes, I'm getting Sam. And yes, I'm going to take very good care of him. His nails are not going to get too long.
His nails didn't get long before. It was the absolute shit heap you lived in that was the problem, with all the bees in smoke, which apparently is your plan.
Yeah, Salah and I are fine. I didn't come here because anything to do with the relationship. I came here for, it's too hot to wait. I need health care. I miss driving. I miss beesing.
I'm sure she does miss all those things, but she changes the subject pretty fast.
I brought my play button home because I'm gonna send it back, and they're gonna send me one that says Foodie Beauty.
What did I tell you? She is sending off and getting Foodie Beauty back. It does not surprise me. I said I was gonna laugh if she did, and then she did. She's so predictable. She's really just leaving Miriam behind.
Because the Miriam one is damaged, like there was a dent in it.
Yeah, but Foodie Beauty is dead to her now.
So they said if it's damaged, I can return it. They will send me a label, I return it, and then once they get it, they'll send me one back.
Why?
I have a bidet, I took one with me. Salah got me one. He thought of that too. See, that's what I miss about him. He thinks of things that I don't.
Anything to get you out of the country. It's like, what can I get you? Glasses? I'll get you a hose. I'll get you anything you want. Just please leave.
No, if something ever happened and I had to be single again, I would stay that way. I don't have any emotional energy to invest.
Something has happened, friends. You cannot tell me different. Talking about being single again? Absolutely.
And something. I just don't, I can't do it. I don't want to. I don't. So happy with just good people around me that's platonic, fine, that's fine with me.
Are the good people around her that are platonic, are we counting Salah among that? I wouldn't classify him necessarily as a good person. I guess she means Pete's, because Pete's will go crawling back. You would think you would have learnt something last time, but probably not.
I'm 40,
Yeah. And I'm 40. And life is over.
Not just age, I don't care. I can't keep doing it. My great-grandfather fell in love at 89. Out of respect for my relationship, because I know I want to address just this, that I know a lot of you...
It's all private, but go on.
...can't comprehend how I could even, ever forgive somebody, like forgive him for that or whatever. But like I said, I've evaluated him based on a lot of other things, good things in a relationship.
I can believe she'd forgive him because she was so desperate to be able to say, where's your man? She doesn't actually care. What got her was the embarrassments on the internet. He could have done this privately, not with a visa, used some common sense to know it was going to come out. And then if she hadn't been embarrassed, she wouldn't have raged online.
I made that decision. That being said,
she's now in Canada.
I'm also taking care of myself and not gonna, I always have my guard up in a way now, so I also, just out of respect for my marriage, I don't want to talk about very personal things about our relationship or...
Okay, she's still talking about this, so take it with a pinch of salt, but sounds to me like they've called it quits and Salah has said, hey, I'll turn up a little bit in your chats and after a certain amount of time, we'll just call it quits, but you have to not speak about me and I will not say anything about you. Done.
Salah,
this is the storyline that's going to trail off.
I know a lot of people, bees are still like him, and...
Who the hell is out here liking him? I mean, appreciating his camera angles occasionally, but who the hell is out here liking him?
He is really good to me in a lot of ways, and, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to, talk personally about our relationship. I didn't do that really with BB, right? I don't think so. Well, maybe a little bit. When things are about me and how I'm feeling, it's hard not to talk about that.
A lot of cotton mouth. I think she might be high, or at least she smoked. I think she's definitely smoked. I don't know how long exactly she's been in Canada, but definitely she's smoked. She's already brought up the idea of beezing. Hamburger eyes comes up later. We can go to the dispensary. She would have smoked the first night she was there.
Take your time to settle in and just breathe. Thank you, Keena Berry. Yeah. Please, money for rescue mission. She's fine with Salah for now. He's the cat dad. I felt bad. Whenever you have a pet, how do you decide what's custody? You know?
Custody? Like in divorce? Custody? You've separated? You decide who has custody by who the hell can take care of her. Certainly not you, is it?
Like when I moved out from Pete, he kept Timbit and I kept the other cats. Like, but this cat we got together.
Wait, when you moved out with Pete's, wasn't Timbits already dead? Because you abandoned Pete's. Timbits was gone, man. Or do you mean originally from your relationship?
Together, and he grew very, very close to her. We both did. We had her like nights, every night. He would be laying on the bed, I'd be laying across the bed the other way. And she would lay right by my head at his feet. And we would watch a movie. Because I'm more comfortable when I watch a movie like laying this way, and he's more comfortable this way. Julia's like this. And she watches TV with us, and like she yawns, and her breast was like, fishy moo. The pets are fine, Halfway. You're being dramatic for nothing. She's fine. I'm gonna get her back.
I don't know who was being dramatic and what they said, but anyone is better off without Foodie than with Foodie. So the pets are probably better where they are.
I try fasting, but then like sometimes if I take my pills on an empty stomach, especially the pain ones, the NSAIDs or it just feels, oh my god, it's the worst stomach pain.
And again, it's a legitimate reason to not be fasting. There are allowances for that within the Muslim faith, like medical reasons you can be exempted. But she has not gone to anyone to discuss this. She's not discussing this with a doctor. She's not discussing this with an imam. She's just like, no, it's hard.
So I learned that, no, if I need to take my pills, I have to eat something with it. Some pills you shouldn't take on an empty stomach. I'll go find somewhere and I'll come back. I'll be back, guys, so watch out. I don't have 2 strikes.
Okay, this was when she came back later, having ordered her food. There wasn't a lot in this live stream. There's only about 3 minutes of this left.
I got a strike before, but it only lasts 90 days. That's why. It's gone. So if you cannot strike my channel, that would be great.
Talk about painting a target on your own back.
Oh, surprising.
But a lot of the stuff that could have been offensive has been deleted, so it probably wouldn't go as far.
Gravy. Whoops, sorry. Okay, you're not required to fast if you have medical reasons and everything. Just an excuse, whatever, it's not. I mean, it is, yeah. But it's a valid one, you know? This is so good. This gravy from the... Oh.
It took me a second because things like this don't even really register with me anymore, but she just drank gravy. Of course she did. Of course she drank gravy. What was I expecting?
Oh, no. I forgot my Nashville chicken tenders.
What?
Oh, mother.
You've literally got a whole pot pie there. What are you worried about?
I ordered 2 Nashville chicken tenders.
So, okay. Get your refund. I'm sure you will.
To go in my pot pie.
You've got a chicken pot pie. Why do you need to add chicken to your chicken pot pie?
Babe, I forgot my chicken tenders.
I'm sure he cares.
Howie, Julia, don't make me feel worse. I already feel heartbroken that I have to leave them.
Yeah, she is prioritizing them over him.
I make my living off the evening news.
Heartbroken, see?
Just give me something I can eat.
Same brain, barbecue, same brain.
People love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry. Isn't that so true? Babe, do you miss me? Do you ever feel like you need extra reassurance sometimes?
No. She's still insecure, but there's no way. Like, she's happy, she's singing, they have made choices. This is not a heartbreak situation.
No, I'm supposed to stay in Canada. Like, I can't change everything.
This was an interesting phrase. I'm supposed to stay in Canada. I can't change everything. So, refused for the next visa or not intending, warned last time, intending to take a longer break, realizing that it just doesn't work in Kuwait. I don't know.
I'm already very deep into this.
What does that mean? Very deep into this. She's shown up, yes. But she's shown up before and then flown back. Do they just not have the money? I guess they have just fixed the car, so that's deep in. But it's just such an interesting way to look at it.
I miss my husband, my cat, and my Howie baby. I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Yeah, so upset. Oh no, I'm kidding. Well, it's normal to miss these things, but no, you're kidding. You've got no real emotions other than rage.
Why are people trying to dictate if I should be married or not? It's my life to live,
I don't know what comment prompted that, but no one's dictating whether you should or shouldn't be. I'm just politely pointing out that it's absolutely impossible that you are.
I don't know. It's normal to miss my husband. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sorry guys, my life is so back and forth. I know it's hard to follow, but anyway. it does cause conflict in my heart a lot.
See, the problem she's going to have is the same problem she's always had, which is anything new is exciting until the shine wears off. The shine wore off of Kuwait, and then she got home, she's like, oh, it's hard to reintegrate. I'm going to have to pay all this money to get an apartment. I'm going to have to do this, that, and the other. It's almost like changing my entire life has consequences. But then when she comes back and she re-establishes herself somewhere, she's still going to be her, and it's going to get dull again. Because these bright new starts that she engineers for herself never end up actually being changes, because she's never willing to work on the things that would actually result in change. So she just keeps moving, hoping the location will fix the internal troubles.
And now I'm depressed and I just want to sleep. Or go for a long drive. Just think about stuff.
Down the long road to the outhouse.
I expect to be happy every minute. I'm just not like... Before I came here, I was so sure. I wanted to move back here. And now that I'm gone, I feel so sick. Like I felt like going to the airport, like the pain in my heart, and like saying goodbye to Julia. Now it's just hard, you know? I know, Melly, I'm so, because I wish I don't know, it's like, that's what I mean, I feel torn. This is not what I expected to happen right now.
I expected this to happen. I didn't expect it to happen quite this quickly. I thought the honeymoon would last a little bit longer, but like I said, wherever she goes, there she is. And if she's not willing to do the changes she needs to do to see that improve, it doesn't matter where she is, it's never gonna fulfill what she wants.
It's not the same. It's not just getting him here, it's like, I don't know.
She cannot
get
him here.
I can't talk about it because I don't know how I feel. It's weird. Anyway, I'll be okay. I'm just going through like a hard time. Coffee meets tomorrow, yeah.
She's been super excited this whole time. I wonder where she'll go for coffee. Is she still banning Starbucks?
You're right. I should go get some sleep or go for a ride maybe. I don't feel like sleepy. I just feel down a bit, honestly.
Or I smell a visit to the dispensary to fill these hours.
Anyways, I'll see you guys later, okay?
Can't have uncomfortable emotions.
I'll go live again. I don't know. Maybe for tomorrow. Thanks, TRW. I gotta friggin' recover. Good night, guys. Bye! Love you guys. Thanks for listening to me.
Okay, and that's her visit so far. I don't think she's been live again since, but I'll go and see after this, and if she has, maybe I'll react to it tomorrow, but I've got to edit this down first. Guys, if she starts going live for like 11 hours a day the way she was during lockdown, I don't think I've got the stomach for it. It's definitely going to have to be recap style because I don't have the kind of time I had in lockdown. A lot of us don't have the kind of time we had in lockdown, but it will be interesting to see her try and establish herself back in Canada because it's going to be just as hard as it was before, and she just gave up before, which if she's not doing that now, she might just go back to Kuwait and this might all be a fail for her. But if she doesn't, if that's no longer an option and she just doesn't want to talk about it, we'll find out later anyway because she's incapable of keeping secrets, but it will be interesting to see her trying to get herself back into a position, and it will be interesting to see how long this has been planned for and how much she was able to organize before she got here. So anyway, I'll see how that goes. I'll obviously be back. I've got a little while for the holidays, so anything that comes out soon I can probably cover, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.